Cardinal Joseph Zen is 93 years old. His body may show signs of age, but his spirit remains unshaken. In a world where many church leaders choose silence over truth and comfort over courage, Cardinal Zen stands out as a man who walks in the footsteps of the saints. He lives under the eye of a regime that sees faith not as a treasure, but as a threat. And yet, he has done something that not only moved the people of Hong Kong, it made the Vatican tremble. Without loud words, without accusations, and without defiance, he reminded the whole church what it means to follow Christ with unwavering courage. On the solemn feast of Corpus Domini, Cardinal Zen made a quiet yet powerful move. He celebrated the traditional Latin Mass in a public parish in Hong Kong, but he didn't stop there. He then led a Eucharistic procession through the streets. With the Blessed Sacrament in his hands, he walked slowly under an umbrella, surrounded not by supporters, but by surveillance. The government watched him closely. Yet this was not just a religious ceremony, it was a public act of resistance. A holy, peaceful, faithful gesture. A reminder to all that Jesus is not a forgotten memory. He is real. He is present. He is with us, still walking through the world. To understand the weight of this moment, we must look at the reality in Hong Kong. Since the introduction of the national security law in 2020, the space for freedom, especially religious freedom, has narrowed. Public worship, especially outside of state-approved churches, is watched and often discouraged. In China, bishops loyal to Rome are jailed or simply vanish. Others are chosen by the government without any involvement from the Vatican. The so-called patriotic church exists under the rule of the Communist Party. It says what the party allows it to say. It worships in ways that fit the party's rules. And because of this, it often hides the full truth of the gospel. Cardinal Zen never gave in to this. He never joined the patriotic church. He stayed faithful to the Holy See, to the teachings of the church, and most of all, to Christ. He paid the price for that loyalty. In May 2022, he was arrested, accused of working with foreign forces, a charge used as a cover to silence him. But even after being arrested, even while under constant watch, he did not stop. He continued to pray, to lead, to guide, and to stand with the faithful. He never stopped being a bishop. What he did during that procession may seem small to some, but in a place where public worship is risky, it was a bold act. It was not just a tradition, it was a message. The Mass he celebrated, the traditional Latin Mass, carries a history that runs deep. It is the Mass that shaped saints. It is the Mass that has been passed down for centuries, unbroken and unashamed. In many parts of the Church today, this Mass is treated as outdated or even divisive. But Cardinal Zen showed the world the opposite. In a time of confusion, it brought clarity. In a time of compromise, it brought strength. In a time of silence, it spoke volumes. The photo from that day said more than words ever could. An old bishop clothed in sacred vestments, holding the Eucharist beneath an umbrella, no guards, banners. Just him, Christ, and the streets of Hong Kong. He later posted a simple message. Jesus is truly Emmanuel, God with us. He reminded us that when we receive Christ in the Eucharist, we are not just eating bread, we become his body. He wrote, "It is not Jesus who needs us, we need him." These simple words carry a truth many have forgotten in today's busy world. Many bishops today remain silent. Some choose diplomacy, others choose safety. Speak to them, not through anger, but through faith, not through protest, but through devotion. In the Western world, where Latin Mass communities face growing limits, where young families are told to move, where tradition is misunderstood, this act becomes a light in the darkness. The faith of your fathers is not dead, it still breathes, it still burns. Rome has made several agreements with the Chinese government, hoping for unity. But what has resulted is confusion. China continues to appoint bishops without Vatican approval, and many Catholics feel abandoned, forgotten, but Cardinal Zen has not forgotten them. He walks with them, He prays with them. He reminds them Christ is still with us. Zen's silence is not the silence of fear. It is the silence of strength. A silence that cries out to the church, do we treasure tradition, or do we treat it as a problem? Do we protect what is holy, or toss it aside? Do we kneel before the Eucharist, or stand above it with pride? His life, his prayer, and his procession ask these questions without a single word, and they demand an answer. Today, obedience is often misunderstood. It is used to justify comfort. But Cardinal Zen shows us what true obedience looks like. It is not about following power, it is about following truth. Even when it costs something, even when it hurts. His life is not a story of rebellion, it is a story of witness, a witness to the truth that never fades. That procession in Hong Kong was not just a walk through the city. It was a message to the world. Christ is king, not the state, not fear, not silence, but Christ alone. He carried no signs, only the Eucharist. He made no speeches, only prayers, and the people watched. This act forces us to ask, what kind of church do we want to be? Do we stay hidden, quiet, uncertain? Or do we step out with faith with Christ in our hands and His name on our lips? If we believe, then we must act. We must pray. We must love boldly. And we must follow the example of those who show us the way, even if they are old and tired, even if the world turns away. Around the world, faith seems to be growing weaker. Churches are emptier. Priests are fewer. But it is not because Christ has changed. It is because we have. We have forgotten how to live our faith with love and strength. We have forgotten the joy of the Mass. We have forgotten the truth of the Eucharist. But Cardinal Zen has not forgotten, and he reminds us. His life is proof that faith is not about ease. It is about endurance. It is about choosing Christ when others choose comfort. It is about sacrifice, about truth, about love that stays. His old age, he stands taller than many. In his silence, he speaks louder than most. In his suffering, Christ shines brighter. We live in difficult times. The church faces pressure from outside and confusion from within. But the saints did not fear these things. Cardinal Zen does not fear them, and neither should we. Because Christ is still with us. He is Emmanuel. He is not gone. He is in the Eucharist. And when we receive Him, we become His hands and feet in this world. That is why Cardinal Zen's act matters. That is why it will be remembered, he reminded us. Where the real strength of the church lies, not in politics, not in buildings, not in headlines, but in the Eucharist. In the Mass, in the sacred traditions handed down through time, in the faithful who bow before God and rise with His truth in their hearts. This is not just the story of one bishop. It is the story of the church, of us all. If we forget Christ, we lose everything. But if we remember Him, we have everything. This is what Cardinal Zen teaches. This is what the saints have always shown us. This is what the church, in her truest form, must never stop proclaiming. So let us remember. Let us return to prayer. Let us walk in courage. Let us carry Christ with reverence into the world. Let us not be ashamed of tradition. Let us love it, live it, defend it, and let us never forget Jesus does not need us. We need Him, and forgetting that would be our greatest loss. May we kneel beside Cardinal Zen in spirit. May we walk behind the Blessed Sacrament in faith. And may we never stop believing that Christ is with us, even now, even here, even in silence, especially in silence. Let me know if you'd like a matching voiceover timing guide, thumbnail text, or video description for your upload.